How you doing? Hello? Honoring Levon Helm from his studio up in Woodstock, New York. Yeah. If you're not sure who Levon is, he's a drummer for the band that later on became Bob Dylan's band. Touring band in the late 60s and early 70s. And then he did solo stuff. And he was also an actor. He played Loretta Lynn's dad in Coal Miner's Daughter against Sissy Spacek and Tommy Lee Jones, who's really good too. And a left-handed drummer. You need to know that or not, I don't know. And he died like over 10 years ago, and right now the last surviving member died a few years back, so there's not one original member of the band that's actually still alive. So times keep changing, time keeps moving on. Speaking of time, let's do this. My stats. Get my readers on, huh? It's Friday, June 5th. I've been sober for 14,311 days, 39 years, 3 months, 5 days, and 470 months. I tell you, something else. Now let's grab these readers again. We're going to talk about, today was change, rebirth, starting something new. Maybe sobriety is new for you, or newish, or maybe opening up and trying to talk with people, open up, take care of that little hole in your soul and try to communicate with people and try to do your best to heal yourself and increase your communication with loved ones, family members, co-workers, neighbors, just people in your community, people that are in your AA meetings and that are also in your Narcotics Anonymous meeting, your NA meetings, and be a leader in that group where you inspire them by opening up and people go, wow, he can be that fearless, so can I. And you encourage other people. That's what I did when I was locked up, and I didn't do it deliberately to become a leader of my group, but I became a leader of my group just because of that. Because when it comes to being a leader in a group, you might wish you were a leader, you hope you're the leader, but the bottom line is everyone picks the leader. You don't walk up and go, first of all, I'm the smartest guy in the room and I'm the leader. No, you're the biggest dipshit and no one's gonna believe you. What you do is you do it when you walk the walk and talk the talk, which is what you're gonna hear when you're going through sobriety. You're also gonna hear it if you're even on a football team. You're gonna walk the walk, you're gonna talk the talk. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna work out. You're gonna go ahead and work on the plays. You're gonna go ahead and be the best that you can be. Say the same thing for people in the Army and Marines and whatnot as well. Be the best that you can be. And it's important. And that's how you're selected as a leader, by your peers. They decide. You can have a meeting and they say, hey, you know, Bob's not our best leader, Jennifer is. We need to have her run this show. Cheers. And that's the way it is. I use that as an example because it could be a man, a woman, it doesn't matter. It's qualifications, not your body parts. So, I said today's June 5th. This is kind of an interesting little thing. I communicate with myself, all right? Today I communicate with myself. I am in touch with my feelings, yes. I am aware of what is important to me, yes. Today I am the most important person in my life, yes. Not the world, in your life. When I was younger, I was taught that it was not right to be selfish, yeah. But now, I know that it is healthy for me to give myself top priority in my life. And you can say you're being selfish for yourself, but when they say it's not good to be selfish, they mean selfish with everybody else. And even if you're sober, you can't just go, hold on a minute, I'm not done talking yet. You do realize I'm sober. Oh, no one's getting it. What? You communicate, you interact. That kind of line kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me. But give it back. It's healthy to give himself a top priority in his own life, like I say, not the world. Today, I look out for number one, and number one is me. Or as Rodney Dangerfield would say, I was looking out for number one, I stepped in number two. So be careful, because you might step in number two and you're barefoot or wearing sandals. Either way, it's in between your toes and you're not gonna like it. We got some questions. I think it's kind of interesting. People asking about the benefits of being sober. So like when you're new too, you can really feel this as well. And I guess I would say the benefits to being sober, number one here is improved physical health. That's true. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna physically feel better. Little trick they do when you're in treatment too is they tell you to make your bed. What? Make your bed. Don't tell me what to do. I'm an adult. Make your bed. Why? An unmade bed is an unmade mind. And if you're going to be focused on your day and your daily event and be sober, it would be better if you left your room organized. So that way you know you're organized in your mind and your soul and your heart before you cross the threshold and step out into this unorganized world. Actually pretty cool. It's a good way to look at things. I still make my bed now, I never used to. Better mental health, obviously, because you're not destroying yourself mentally, and you're actually communicating with others and reaching out. So by definition of that, you're improving your mental health. And then you're able to articulate more precisely, and people understand you. And engaging with people is actually an exciting, great feeling. And it's empowering. And you're gonna feel like you are a leader. And eventually, people will tap you as the leader because you are leading your group. You are leading the way. You are someone that people feel they should follow. You're someone that people feel they should listen to. They might even come to you later on and ask for advice. When I was on my knees in addiction and making a complete ass of myself, I got a lot of advice, even from good friends. Didn't like any of it. And it's funny now that in my sober years, as I kept leaving that in the rearview mirror and kept moving forward soberly, people started asking questions. Then people started asking for advice. Then pretty soon people just come to me. I did a video earlier where I was basically the laughingstock and the shitheel and the low man on the totem pole in my whole family. And I went from laughingstock to someone that, and like my aunt told me, I was a warning sign on the highway of life. Now, as I boldly told her, I'm a billboard of redemption. So all of a sudden people are coming to me for advice. Family members that thought I was just a chucklehead maybe find themselves in a situation where they need to talk to me, or their husband or wife is having problems, or their children come to me. And now I'm so old that the children have grandchildren, and some of them are starting to have problems because addiction is hereditary too. Not all of us get it, but a lot of us, if you have family members, you're susceptible to it, and you could fall prey to it. And a good sign of it is like if you have to justify what you're doing, like I'm not. I had one cousin of mine said to me, he was really messed up, got a DWI, got in trouble, and I said, man, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You're the worst one in the whole family. Matter of fact, when it comes to being just a jerk-off, drunk, high idiot on drugs, you wrote the book. Yeah, you're right. But you didn't read the last chapter, did you? Huh? Yeah, I became sober, dillweed. I wrote the book and then try to slap me with it. If I was still using, that would be an excellent argument against me, but I wasn't. I think at the time I was already sober like 22 years. Like, what are you talking about? Talk about justifying your own bad behavior. Being sober, a greater self-awareness. It is a greater self-awareness. You know where you are in this world. You know where you are in your family. You know where you are at work. You know where you are in your relationships. And then you can always build on that. And you can take great pride in where you stand, where you are, and where you plan on going. And that's very important. And that's really good because it builds the self-awareness, gives you a great sense of pride. Cheers. Gives you an opportunity to shine a little bit when there were times where you were not shining at all. And at first, it's a real nice change of pace, I'll tell you that. But eventually, it just becomes your pace. And it's something you lean on, something you like about yourself, and you're able to share with others. Increased productivity. That could be just around the house, just picking up the house, doing laundry, doing your chores, going to knock out your to-do list, not laying on the couch, going to get the grocery list, get it done, cut the grass, pick up an extra shift, pick up the kids from school before your wife gets home. Hey, right on. You're part of the team now. You have greater productivity. That also means at work, you might start working more, get a raise, get more money, and get rewarded that way as well. That's a reward in itself. More financial stability. True. I remember in 1984, and it sticks out because of the year, but I was really in the throes of my addiction, drunk and high and just out of control. But I was a functioning addict that worked because I knew where my drug money come from. So it came from work. So I made sure I worked through the hangovers and the cocaine crashes and whatnot. I made sure I kept working, and I would have my boss literally say, "My God, I think last night you drank 20 White Russians, and here you are." Bill didn't called in from work. We threw you in Motel 10, room 10, woke your ass up. You've been cooking breakfast all day. You went home, took a shower, back in the room, took a shower. You reset, and now you're cooking and closing at night. God damn, boy, how do you do it? I had paid for my drugs. And I said, well, I'm glad I had a chance to shower off. I said, I'm sweating like a whore on dollar day, and the miners just got paid in gold chunks. I said, but I tell you what, Andy, if you lick the sweat off my arm, I guarantee you'll get high as a kite. I'm really detoxing tonight. That's 80 proof. Oh, it's unbelievable. So I can make fun of it myself and still be productive. But financial stability, I had to have that money. But I wasn't stable because then I didn't have money for a lot of other things. I ended up, when I lived out there by Lakeview Castle, my rent was free because I knew I couldn't afford it, but then they could keep pulling me in to pick up shifts that other people weren't picking up. So I was beat like a rented mule, but I had to. But the money all went to my bar tabs and everything else too, and then whatever drugs I could buy from the bartender and some of the people I worked with and some of the people who were at the bar. You know who they are. It doesn't take long before you find out who's holding the stuff. You know what I mean? Find out right away. I had this one girl I know, like, there's drugs everywhere. Like, fuck, you find out where the drugs are in your first goddamn shift. What are you talking about? Come on. I can't work anywhere. There's drugs everywhere. There's drugs everywhere. You can go to GameStop and find drugs, for God's sakes. It's ridiculous. You can find drugs everywhere because you know where to look. You know the look of the people. You know what to do. And you hear names and you know who will take care of it. Don't be surprised. Surprise yourself in a conversation like that. Stupid, especially when you're talking to me who's been doing it for years. Like, what? Yeah, no kidding. Wow. That's your revelation. Awesome. You're not going to stay sober very long. And she didn't. And she's relapsed 4 times. Cocaine. It's embarrassing, ridiculous. She's a single mother with a child. Her mother is basically taking care of her. And it's just sad. It's just ridiculous. And then mom walks around on eggshells because her daughter will freak out because she builds up to the freak out. I'm out of here because she wants to go out and get high. It's just the stupidest thing, and it's just common, and they think that is so unique to their lifestyle. It isn't. It's the same pattern that every other addict does, and she's not financially stable either. So when you're sober, you actually have a little more money in your pocket, and you can actually spend it on your children. Maybe you just buy a nice coffee table you broke because you were drunk and high. Brand new couch, maybe a new TV, iPad, little things that you might want in your new phone, little things you might want. And that way your friends will look at you and go, hey man, you sobered up. Yeah, I've been sober 9 months, 14 months. Eventually you stop counting it like a baby and you say, yeah, I've been sober 3 years, 4 years. But they see, hey, you wear nicer clothes. Hey, you're doing this. Hey, you got a new car. Hey, you're doing, yeah. You're finally getting it together and your credit score is increasing. So then you have more purchasing power. And you're not spending all your money on drugs. Increased confidence, absolutely. It comes from within, and you really will feel stronger. You really will feel the loads of bricks coming off your back, and you're going to step lighter and stronger and harder. You're going to be much more assured of every step and every move you make. Every breath you take, I'll be watching you. Yeah. Which is another, everyone uses that song, Every Breath You Take, like it's, they use it at their weddings, like I'll be watching, I'm in love with you, but actually it's a sinister song about someone keeping an eye on you and spying on you. But also if you're on cocaine, it makes you really nervous. Who's watching me? Who's watching me? What, every breath I take, every move I make, they'll be watching me. Who's watching me? Who's watching me? It's the government, isn't it? Isn't it? I know it is, I know it is, I know it is. Sound familiar? Improved quality of life. Yes. Your mental, physical, financial, relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends, father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister, neighbor, co-workers. Everything's going to be that much better, and people are going to actually be very grateful to know you. They'll be very happy to spend time with you. They'll think that you're doing a fantastic job and you're someone that should be followed. And just like me, later on, they send their children to come talk to me because, oh man, I don't know what to do. My kid's on coke, acting like a goddamn fool, took off in the car. I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't even know how to talk to people like this. That's where I come in. Everyone knows the type of jackass I was, and the type of jackass I was all those years, and how I had to turn it around. And people that really want to turn it around and find out, even if they didn't know me, their parents or their brother or their sister or the grandparents will tell them how effed up I was. And like, really? That guy doesn't seem like it. He seems pretty happy. Yeah, you want some of this? Let's start talking. Let's set you up. Let's get you to counseling. Let's get you a counselor. Let's get you in some of these programs. Very important. You're going to be scared shitless. And the more you try to scare yourself and take bigger risks, the more frightened you're going to be. But I guarantee the first 5 years is absolutely frightening. After that, it starts to taper off and gets easier and easier and easier. And then you start feeling that benefit. And then things are a hell of a lot different then. And you're improving your quality of life. And that's important. Don't you want a better life? We all want a better life. And being financially stable is also a great way to enjoy your better life. Cheers. A friend of mine told me about this guy. He does a podcast. He's been sober for 16 years. Excellent, brother. And on his sobriety anniversary, he always goes somewhere with his team and does podcasts for a week there. And I remember my buddy told me this is back quite a few years ago. Man, the guy went to Sydney, Australia. Is he an Aussie? No. Did he do drugs down there? No. Why'd he go? He always wanted to go, and now he could. And he's celebrating his sobriety. Well, heck, that's pretty dang cool. You got to respect that. You got to like that. So there's a lot of themes you can have when you're enjoying your quality of life. It might just be a vacation with your loved ones, you know, go to Beaches Resort and bring your kids with, or just Sandals where it's the adults and it's just you and your wife, or you and your hubby, you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, whatever. Someone who you're intimate with, hey, that's a great reward. And then intimacy even gets tighter and your bond gets tighter. That's a great feeling. And we all want it, especially those of us that are in relationships. And those of us that are not in relationships, well, we want a relationship so we can have that. Yeah, that's how it works. But no one's going to trust you if you're not a trustworthy person. So you want to go out there and take care of stuff and improve your quality of life. And things will get better and better every day you get sober. It isn't like flicking on a light switch and I'm in darkness. Oh, I see the light. No. And it isn't like the Blues Brothers where James Brown is dancing on the pulpit at the black church and everyone's dancing and singing and Elwood and Jake are standing at the end of the whole aisle. And all of a sudden the light hits him and he feels the power of God and he yells, Jesus Christ. He just starts cartwheeling down and dancing with everybody. Your sobriety is not going to be like that. That's just being comedic. But you will feel it. And you'll feel it getting brighter and brighter every day. And you'll feel the weight of the burden you carry be lightened and lightened. And I call it by bricks. Just take it off brick by brick by brick. Also because Pink Floyd had the movie and the song, The Wall. Brick, all in all, you're just another brick in the wall. And the whole thing builds up, builds up, builds up if you're in the live concert, so you can't even see the band. And that's when people are yelling, tear down the wall, and it comes down. And when you tear down the wall, you're exposed, so you're just a little nub. And the music is real soft and it's like almost like a music box. You're just very small. And it's to represent the fact that you build a wall for safety. You build a wall to keep everybody out, and then you do drugs behind the wall to keep everybody out so they don't know what's going on. Once you tear it down, you start all over again and there's nothing to you. You can talk, my dad would say the same thing, but he was a Marine, but you can talk to anyone that's in your family that's in the service, and they will tell you the same thing too. You bring your personality in, they strip you right down to the little core, just like right down to that little nub of a music box inside of Pink Floyd's The Wall. And then from there you build the soldier. You build with pride that person. And then you're able to do extraordinary things because you're doing it outside of yourself and you're doing it for the greater good. And when you become sober, you're doing things outside of yourself. You're representing who you are. You're actually a walking commercial for yourself. Be all you can be. And if you're sober and in the service, oh man, you're kicking ass left and right. And see, a lot of times people use alcohol and drugs just to cover up what they don't want to talk about. And it could be a veteran that came home, or it could be a person that was abused when they were growing up. So it's self-medicating. And I always say, it's like, you can be the best doctor, like here in Houston, we got the MD Anderson cancer. You could be the best cancer surgeon and you could have cancer yourself. And because you're the best surgeon, you're gonna go ahead and get the scalpel and cut on yourself? No, you're not. You're not going to self-medicate. You're not going to be your own doctor. You know what the steps need to be to get done. Even if it's just cancer on your toe, you're not gonna cut your toe off. Somebody else is gonna do it. So it's always outside of you as well. Speaking of which, number 10, longer life. Longer life, baby. You know, you're gonna live longer. I always joke around with people and they say, you know, that's great. What are you gonna get being sober all these years? Gonna live long enough to find out which one of the organs I screwed up. Probably gonna, I would say it's gotta be my liver, because not only just drinking, drugs affect the liver too. But then someone said, well, the liver can regenerate and fix itself. Yeah, and you can still die of cancer from it. But then again, they're checking my heart. They did an ultrasound. They want to check the plaque level because even though my numbers are good and I'm no longer a diabetic and I'm a vegetarian, so I don't have much of any animal fat running through my bloodstream like I did 6 years ago when I was eating hamburgers and cheeseburgers and things like that. All that greasy, beautiful shit that's left on your plate afterwards, if you eat it, goes in your stomach, goes into your system, goes into your bloodstream, starts to mess with you. It builds up. It builds up. So I just said, well, eventually I just end up dying that way, I guess. I don't know, you live long enough to die, but bottom line is I sobered up at 27, so I'm not in the 27 club. And nobody found me passed out drunk and choked on my own vomit in the back of my car. But I will tell you this. At one Minnesota night, I was really drunk. And we were in my Challenger, a yellow canary bird car. And I was prone to wearing fedoras and long hair and partying away. And I passed out. So my cousin drove back to his house, but I was so dead they couldn't even pull me out of the car. So they were gonna leave me in the car. But as I was laying there, they heard gurgling. And us being rock and rollers knew exactly what happened to Bon Scott from Ice Dice, choked on his own vomit. So what they did was they turned me to face the floor mat behind the driver's seat and pushed the seat as hard as it could all the way back and held my head so I couldn't move. And that's where I slept and passed out. And 3-4 hours later, I woke up like 5 in the morning, really cold. They put jackets on me because it was like 20 below, but they put jackets on me so I could at least stay Minnesota warm. But I woke up, I couldn't move my head. And I'm like, what? I pulled my head and like, you MFs, you wrecked my hat. And then I looked at the floor mat. And you know what was frozen on the floor mat? My own vomit. So if they didn't make that move, I would have definitely been dead. And then I may have joined the Chunk 27 Club like everybody else by accident, except for Kurt Cobain. He did it on purpose. He just joined the club. But drug addiction too will help you decide that suicide is your solution. And the sad thing about suicide is get help. If you have suicidal thoughts, get help. As a matter of fact, it's like an old Jimmy Buffett song when he sings about having an illegitimate child or having a tattoo. It's a permanent feeling, permanent decision from a temporary feeling. So if you're feeling bad, you're feeling your life is slipping away because of drugs and alcohol, and you think killing yourself is the solution, it's a permanent solution. Just, you can watch the Doors movie, Jim Morrison, and then he dies, and then you can rewind it and watch it again. He's still alive again, but he's not. And we have that strange little thoughts in our head. And it's just something that addictive people are more prone to suicide. I've had quite a few suicides in my family, and almost all of them because of some sort of drunk, alcohol, or some kind of chemical addiction. And then, of course, relationships fail. So he killed himself because his wife left him. It's like, yeah, but she left him for a reason, too. He was an active member in destroying his life. Cheers. He was a good guy. He just made a mistake. He was driving home and they didn't, they should have those crossing guards and the lights on every railroad. They didn't have that. He just drove in, got hit by a train. But he was also wasted. So yeah, he died because of the train accident, but he was drunk. So, and then you hear about suicide by cop. People just go ahead and attack a cop because they want to have him end it all, and maybe they can get some sort of lawsuit and family will get something out of their lousy life is where they're looking at it. But it's not a solution. Anyways, let's leave it at that, shall we? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming along. Patreon, thank you. Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, ding, 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 chime. Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Sobriety Vlog. I appreciate that. Your time is important. You hang out with me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul. I see each and every one of you. Continue to comment and continue to make friends. If you are sober 12 years and you just met someone who's been sober for 11 months, say hello to them. They're going to have some questions for you. You're going to have some answers. It's a great feeling to help people. It's a great community. One more time, the stats. Friday, June 5th. I've been sober for 14,311 days. 39 years, 3 months, and 5 days. 470 months. Thank you. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for being part of the team. Thank you just for being with us. And in the words of Ringo, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. I love the fact that you join us. I love the fact that you're with us. And hey, I want to just share my love with you. Thank you. And good luck and congratulations on your continued journey of sobriety. Go in peace, my friends. I love you.